Okay, so a tad bit of a confession up front. I was recording these out of order, and I'm putting these together to present to you in a fun and engaging fashion. So the audio has been muted. It's didn't really work out. So I'm actually going to be narrating on top of the video itself, kind of like a future me, looking back at how all the ways I screwed up. Well, let's be honest. And one of the ways I screwed up was in the commentary. So this is future me. I went back and edited it and looked out. Jebediah has been saved, but apparently I've forgotten that at this point in time. So all the times that I say we're rescuing Jeb, we're not. What are we rescuing him from his cot over at the astronaut complex? I don't think we are. So Jeb is fine. He's not re-lost. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Is that I'm like my two brain cells were not functioning at that time. But yeah, so enjoy the video. All right, so we have some science or lack of science. So in order to get Jeb, I want to get some more of these things opened up because it's really going to help push larger things into space and also will open up other sciences. So, because the main mission is to return Jeb. We really need him back. He's very important to the mission. So, the science that we do have, I don't want to redo again. That's completely pointless. Uh, so, we've got to look through here and figure out which sciences maybe I've done before but wasn't able to bring the experiments back. And you can do that with the bars there. If it's a full bar, then we've got all the science. There's no point in doing it again. But ones that are empty, we can actually do that. So just trying to build a mission around getting as many of these as possible. And then we're also going to look into a contract, or actually, well, multiple contracts would be the way to go with a single mission. That's going to also get us more science. Because the 23.2 that we have isn't doing anything. So as I fumble around in this menu trying to figure out what makes the most sense, eventually I'm going to put together something that actually does make sense, unlike my fumbling. So looks like a mystery goo observation, so we can slap a couple of those on. Temperature scan from the launch pad, that's simple enough. It just requires you sitting still and do a temperature scan. No idea why that hasn't been done. No idea why that's not completed. Did I do? I don't know. Well, moving on. So, okay. Minimus is, yeah, that's pretty much out. We're not going to be going to Minimus. Not anytime soon, right? Okay, so, yeah, what all do we have? Let's look around. And more importantly, what missions do we have? Because some of those can get you quite a bit of science. Conduct temperature surveys of the moon, science data from space around Kerbin. That's also not too bad. I mean, you know, send science data from space around Kerbin? Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. Um, I mean, it sure makes sense, right? We're going to be doing that anyway. Transmit or recover. Yeah. So we'll take that. So let's look at what else we've got going on in here. Measure the temperature. So there's actually a polar orbiter, I guess, a satellite, if you will. The whole idea of this, if you've missed the other parts, was this would just fly around the poles in an orbit that is not synchronous to the period of one Kerbal day. I think it's something like 37 minutes or like 36 and a half. It's somewhere between 35 and 40 minutes, which actually gets a. It will cover all the spaces of Kerbin's surface, and I can use this. It just stays up there, and it has a, as you'll see, a temperature and pressure sensor with an antenna, solar panels. So like it can just fly around in this orbit. There's a pressure sensor, right? And then we've got, if I scroll in, the thermometer, right? So, okay, we have this mission for temperature at these specific points, which is, it pretty much just missed it. It's close, but it's not quite. So really the thing to do here is just to fly around and see if I can get the correct angle on it, and that's inside of Kerbal. That's not how you, okay, now we're back out. But yeah, so every time it goes around, some of the angle will change, and then you just kind of wait, and it's a little bit of a tedious process, but it works. It's definitely not perfect. I'm sure I could make it better with like science or math or something, or maybe even geometry. But the guess and check method is also viable if you have oodles of time. We'll be condensing that. So, like magic. And wow, look at that. So soon, it seems like we might make it. So what I've got to do now is get set up. All right, we've got the thermometer. Now we're just waiting for a prompt. It's going to come up and it'll say that we're going right over top of this area. It'll be like a green. It just pops up, and I want to get this time around. So we wait and there it is. All right, so we hit that, we nail that, we transmit it off. We already have the data, so we won't get any science for it, but it's flashing. We've done the contract. All right, so, and I guess to specify, we'll get the science and the money from the contract. We won't get the science from transmitting the actual data, since it's already been sent to R&D. So there is absolutely a point to doing it. It's not like it's completely pointless. So now that mission is gone. We've got our now 70 couple science, and so yeah, we're actually kind of in a good spot. So just looking over, there it is. It's been sent off. Oh, we didn't get any science at all for that. Wait a minute. What? Alright. Okay, so be it. So I thought that there was science that was associated with that one, but it looks like if that is the temperature flying over that location, and it's all complete, but I don't see any blue science in the bottom. Either way, we're getting there. So, I mean, really, honestly, the mission is to get Jeb back. I don't really care how it's done, as long as it doesn't cost us anyone else. So, yeah, so all that being said, we'll just continue on. Alright, so the next problem is, I want this lander can to bring somebody back. I don't have anything that can be controlled remotely. No SAS or anything, so I need to take someone into space and then bring another person back, and that's going to be the problem. So this is a pretty promising contract, and yeah, it's pretty much exactly what we've done before. They want a satellite into orbit at a specific location. There's your orbit there. That's where it needs to be. Pretty straightforward. I've already got the other polar satellite that I've made before, so we'll take that one. That's great. Alright, so we're just going to call this one the Contract Sat 1. It's identical to the polar satellite launcher that we had before. It's just going to be in a different orientation. It's not going to be going over the poles. It'll be going wherever VACCO wants it to be. So here we are. Oh, and it's already not looking great. Okay, so uh, let's call that testing. Yeah, sure. For those of you that may be new and more testing gone wrong. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, so I have a rule. I'm not going to revert flights or anything like that. Whatever happens, happens. It's career mode. You get somebody lost on the moon, and they just stay there until I'm able to get them back. If they die, they die. That's just the way it is. Yeah, here we're going to modify this one real quick. All right, so it's been determined by engineers that this is the way to go. We're just gonna clamp this thing on here with plenty of fall distance, for whenever the engines aren't exactly perfect. I believe in Kerbal Space Program, they are pretty much just instantaneous, as you saw. It's not like they take time to heat up or anything. Yeah, we're just going to blast this thing into the orbit. So, I'll see you there. Alright, so we've circularized, and something I should have looked at before. We're going to go back to the tracking station here, or rather, not tracking station, the mission. Yeah, we're going to go back and actually look at the mission. Where is this thing supposed to be? Because now that it's in a circle and it's up. Oh, yeah, that's a lot. That's way more out there than I thought. Probably should have looked at that before. I mean, I'm not landing on another body or anything, so I should have plenty of fuel, but that's like way larger than I was planning on. Uh, we still have plenty of Delta V, so I certainly am not concerned by any means. It's just definitely more than I planned on. Always build your missions correctly, guys. It's definitely going to help. So, yeah. Um, okay, I think that green line out there flying around is probably what we want. Because I've not seen that green line before. Yeah, and it's got like, that's not, there's nothing flying around that fast. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's where it wants me to be. Cool. I mean, that shouldn't be that bad. They just have to circularize all the way out there. Not dangerously close to the moon or anything. Certainly not. So we'll use the periapsis and push our apoapsis out further. Looks like I'm going to do 2 burns. Honestly, looking back at it, I don't know why I would have done this. I don't know what made me think this was the way to go. Maybe it's a cool technique. I don't know. I mean, it's future me here. It worked out, obviously. So it's fine. If there's a reason I shouldn't be doing this, feel free to let me know. But yeah, so all right, we're getting some weird moon interactions there. That's fun. So hopefully we can find a way to not have that happen. I guess it'll just be a matter of timing, and maybe I lucked out here, and actually because of the way that I did these burns, um, that it's actually working out. So I'm just going to play around with this now and try to get it just set straight on. Alright, so here we are coming up on the final bit of the burn, and it's done. So now that should be good. Now we're just waiting. There it is. Alright, it had to be stable in this orbit for 10 seconds. You can't just blast past it and expect it to work. Um, so, yeah, there it is. Now we've got one way out here by the moon. It's doing like weird glitchy things. I don't really know what that's all about, but like it's just every once in a while I have this thing flash. That's not foreshadowing at all. So yeah, there we go, and it's just gonna chill up here in space until I need it. So we'll put these antennas out because I don't believe these are relay antennas, um, but maybe there's some reason that I'll need it. Who knows? Um, it almost kind of looks like it's so close to the moon that it's like gonna hit the moon or something. So, yeah, we'll just open all this up. There's no atmosphere out here. Uh, and actually, wow, okay, so we can get some science. Well, look at that. So, yeah, go ahead and transmit that back. Cool, so we got some unexpected science by being way out here. Um, I would have thought that on another vessel we would have done this already. But hey, that's how science goes. Sometimes it's fairly unexpected. So let's just accelerate this a bit and see what happens. Like, is this dangerously close to the moon and I did not anticipate that being a problem? I certainly didn't plan this at all. I just kind of threw this thing up here and then found out, oh, yeah, it's kind of really close. Um, so, yeah, we'll just let this go for a couple more revolutions. All right, so we're fly. Oh, okay. There it is. Yeah, we're actually going to hit the moon. Well, not hit the moon. Actually, we're almost in a really good spot for a moon intercept. All right, so quick science check, and yeah, we can send some of that back. So right now we're going at about a hundred something meters per second, so it's quite slow. So we'll add some time warp in here and get down there right nice and close. Uh, we're going to add a lot of time warp in here because yeah, we'll see what we can do. I mean, now we've got a moon orbiter. Now we've got, in fact, where will this send us just by launching out of the moon's sphere of influence? No science here. This vessel is not coming back. This is not going to be recoverable. This is going out, and it's going to be on a one-way mission. Uh, but a one-way mission to where? I guess that's back in Kerbin's sphere of influence. Um, yeah. So it's way out there. So we use the moon as a gravity assist, and now we're actually outside of the orbit of Minmus. Uh, Overall scheme of thing, that worked really well. We still have a little delta V left. maybe not enough for a capture of Minmus, but I mean, it's maybe we can get close, or just leave it here. It's kind of like way off inclination. But I mean, why not just let it go, right? If we lose the vessel, whatever, it was a contract vessel. I'm not really all that concerned about it. But at best, maybe we're actually able to do something with it. So we'll do another quick science check. Uh, Nothing. Because we're still in Kerbin's sphere of influence. So it's not like we've left to another body or anything. And we're just going to leave this thing out here. But it's just a couple of more minutes just looking at what I could possibly do with this. I'd like to get an intercept with Minmus. That would be really neat if that was possible. Uh, was not planning on going there at all, but it's already so close. I mean, why wouldn't I? Wouldn't you? So, yeah, let's see what we've got. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna set up these inclinations here. We're on the uh, not the descending node. Why are we not on the descending node or ascending node? What was I doing back then? I think I was just guessing. This really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I think somehow it ends up working out because I have Minmus set as a target, and yet, I mean, it works. But I did that at the periapsis. I did not do that at one of the ascending or descending nodes, I also did not do a mid-course correction. So I guess, yeah, we're just going to have to canoodle around at this point. And there it is. Um, Now, the big question is, do I have enough delta V left? I've got 302, uh, but it looks like in order to get this intercept, it's only going to about 34, 35, somewhere in the 30s range. So that's 10% of fuel left just to fly by. And I would be thrilled at a flyby at this point. Um, just because this is so far out of the scope of what I wanted to do. We've already got a lot of science. Just even crashing into Minmus, I would be happy. But let's see. I think it would be possible to actually get out there and do a little something. Get that science. So here we are, and it is time to burn, baby, burn. Uh, if I do this right, hell, even if I do it wrong, it's still going to be close enough. So we'll just get this right on in there, nice and easy. It costs very little fuel, and well, okay, that's close enough. That's honestly, anything is better than nothing at this point. Um, Again, this is so far not what I was planning on doing at all. Um, we have got a weird looking orbit there. But, I mean, that's what you get when you don't plan, right? We probably could have set this whole thing up from the beginning to be correct. But, yeah, so. It's, that's us. We've got Minmus. We're set as a target. We're good. And, yeah, I mean, continue on. Let's keep flying. Alright, so we are pretty close now. I want to set up a mid-course correction, because we actually don't even have a periapsis. That's going to crash right into the surface. So we'll just alter this some just enough. And That's a pretty safe distance. Yeah, that's an even safer distance. So we'll use that to not crash into the surface. It's a small burn, just a tiny little burn. And once we get in, alright, we've entered Sphere of Influence. What would be smart is to check science, so we won't be doing any of that. Um, I'm pretty much just hand flying this the entire time, so we'll line it up pretty close. No fancy parts yet, that's what we're trying to unlock. So, yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Long as we don't crash, really, like that's the main goal here. And still 253 meters per second. Uh, no idea what it would take to circularize. It's really not the point. Uh, we could, however, just continue this on, fly outside, and keep going to another body. We could enter the sphere of influence of Kerbal, the sun, and just go from there. Just gravity assist our way with just this tiny little craft. But I think what would make more sense, we'll leave that for another time. We'll just circularize this, or at least get into some kind of an orbit. And actually, science-wise, I think it'd be beneficial to not have a circle, to have some difference between the periapsis and apoapsis. Nothing too extreme, but like, a high space, low space kind of thing. Uh, I don't believe Minmus has an atmosphere. It's too small for that. Um, but, let's see what we can do. Alright, so here we are. And just line that up with a retrograde burn. And once we're there, get the marker and the retrograde to line up, or the target and the retrograde markers to line up on top of each other. Just waiting for those burn times. It's so small, it really doesn't even matter. I probably could just push it right now, but I mean, why not shoot for the best, right? Yeah. So we'll just hang out until the time is right. It won't be all that long. Just a couple of seconds. But I think if we can get some temperature scans and some pressure scans from Minmus, it'll be really helpful in getting that science. I think the harder it is to get to a body, the more science you get from it, just because of the difficulty. So, yeah, we're going to call that good. That's fine. Hi, Kerbin. Hi, the moon. Yeah, that's originally where we were planning on going, and here we are. How crazy is that? So, Minmus. Science. Hooray. We've gone well beyond the scope of this contract. More science. And because of these antennas that we have on here, it's no problem whatsoever. Yeah. So this is still considered high space, even though we're pretty much at the periapsis. I could play around with this a bit more. Yeah, we could add a maneuver here, burn retrograde, and bring the periapsis down, not to where it's hitting. Obviously, I would hate to go all the way out here and then just crash this thing into the surface. But try to get it a little better, I guess, right? Yeah, why not? See if we can get some low space over Minmus. right, coming up on it. And boop, there it is. Yep, cool. Awesome, as planned. So, much closer. Maybe we can get a low space out of that. I still, at this point, have not figured out what high space, low space. I understand the atmosphere. You know, you can't be flying in space. It doesn't make any sense. You do need an atmosphere to have flying. We still have nearly 200 uh, delta V left. So, we could line these up a little better. I don't think that's going to be the plan. We're already way closer than I was planning. So I think that's going to be the plan, is just get us on in there. Still have full control of the probe. Yeah, we'll just accelerate some time, get us back down, see if maybe we can get some low space out of this one. That would be great. Then it's even more science while we're here. I mean, why go home if, you know, we can get even more? The whole idea is to get those better parts so that we can rescue Jeb. Rescue Jeb. So, it's a very small body, so it doesn't take a whole lot of... so we're still high. At 70,000. I guess that would be pretty high, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we keep going. Now we're at 28, 27, 9. And there's more science. Okay. Cool. So we'll grab the thermometer. We'll grab the pressure, temperature, and the pressure. We'll transmit this back. Great. Even more science. So the whole time we've just been collecting science. We've got our contract done. That was done a long time ago. Still have a connection. It's great. Yeah, originally started here. Uh, got to the moon. The moon launched us out, and now we're gonna be at Minmus, and that's where this thing is gonna sit. I don't believe I have enough Delta V to be able to get out to anything else, just because there's so much space. I could kind of launch off and then stay in the sun's Kerbal's sphere of influence, but I don't think. Well, what's the point? We have one around Kerbin. We have one around Minmus now. We can put another couple of drones around the moon. So let's head on back. Okay, let's check out what we got. 224 science. So that will absolutely fund our projects in the future. That's a lot more than we were expecting. Should be able to get some pretty cool parts off of that. Alright, so a recap. We've got the orbiter out there around Minmus. We've got the polar orbiter around Kerbin. We have a couple of other contracts here to put satellites into these orbits here. The orange and the green one, the one equatorial and the one polar. So that wouldn't be all that difficult. And no danger of running into the moon. So maybe they'll be next. Uh, yeah, so that's gonna be it. That's what. We'll just save this here and we'll be good. All right. Oh, thank you for tuning in. We've got some science. We'll be able to use that to get some better parts and continue this story forward. I'm not done. I have some more stuff that's recorded. And I'm just going back and making the videos now. Again, the next one will be also the same format recorded, and then I'll just talk over top of it and hopefully capture your interest. And maybe we can get back to the live format if that works better. Just let me know what you want. I can do it either way. If this is cool, that's fine. If it's not, it's also fine. I can add like some fun effects and things in. And I always have fun with that. I just wanted to get the story out there, and then we can continue later on. All right, so be sure to tune in next time you see another video. So hit the notification, ring the bell, smash the like button, yell at me in the comments, whatever you would like to do with the video, that's fine. You can print it out and recycle it, that's fine too. Alright, thanks. Bye.